How you doing, guys? Kyle here. Glad to see you. I'm not here. I just want to start this off. I'm not in a bad mood, but I have been thinking a lot, and I was thinking like whether I should do this video, whether it's worth doing. It's important because, like I said before, this year for fighting games has been great. But there's a lot going on in the way of like development, and it's mostly due to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That's made me think, and this type of topic has come up before, and I'm like I said, I'm not a big head. Well, when I first started this, I definitely wasn't famous. I'm still not. So when I say this and get into the topic again, I hope it really like sends a message to people out there. If only 50 people watch it, hey, that's what it is. I want to get it off my chest, though, because I feel like it's important for the people who don't necessarily do this or who want a voice heard. For the people who are out there who look up to Max or any kind of big fighting game name, Peter De La Rosa or Combo Fiend, or hands in the fighting game community. If you compete at Evo, all these kinds of things, that's fantastic. Hopefully I can be there one day, but my point today is to make a point and make it known. And that point is have characters, have a fighting game your way. That sounds very, I'm sure, usual before. But when I reference Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I mean on the ways they talk about the characters, the way they present the characters. I'm sure you've been keeping up with it. If you have, I know DBZ Fighters is possible. Future Trunks being announced. And the beta, hopefully, within the following weeks, most likely August. Tweets have been sent out about that, but August is the kind of go-to month. Not for sure, but end of the summer they're still sticking to it. But nonetheless, what we're here to say now, what I'm here to say, is when you make a game, the game needs personality. A game needs character. At the end of the day, this is a game. It's fighting game. Game being the emphasis. I think I put fighting in this hand and game in this hand. Game is the emphasis at the end of the day. All the tournaments you see, all the SEOs, all the Team Spooky events you see, any event anywhere. I mean, those games are popular. You see Street Fighter, you'll see Marvel vs. Capcom, you'll see Guilty Gear, you'll see any game, and those people compete. Those people are competing professionally, and they're competing for a purpose. But behind all of that, there is a game that people enjoy for a reason. They're connected to the characters. They like those characters. Now, when I say like the characters, everyone's different. Some people like them because they function a certain way. For instance, and I'll get into that when I make a point later, because I have plenty of examples. But at this point, you like a character. For instance, I play Injustice 2. When I play a character, I pick, let's say, Batman. I like Batman a lot. When I was a kid and watched the animated series, my face melted for the first time. When I picked up Injustice and I saw Black Canary, when I saw Poison Ivy, when I saw just any character you can think of, I like the character because of that personality. Now, that being said, that character also has good qualities. Like Batman, for instance, he has an amazing jump too. It's very ambiguous jump in. It's probably the best jump in button in the game. But I don't necessarily, even if he didn't have that, if Batman was a low tier character because they made him that way because he doesn't have superpowers, I'd probably still play him regardless. The way Marvel is talking about their characters and talking about the game right now is really worrying me, because I don't want any developed game, and this is like till the end of time, a game should never, ever, ever pick function over fun. it should always be fun. Even if a game is like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, infamously known for being busted, but that game had so many characters, that game had so much personality that no one really cared. The function of the game, even though it was somewhat unbalanced, it was a lot unbalanced, but no one cared. It was a grease fire of like the greatest proportion, and everyone loved it. The character roster is still one of the more untouchable ones to this day. I mean, no one has even thought about going over that. And then you think about now, come September, of what's to come. And the demo was me. I mean, and here's the thing: the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite demo, it was a good display of what's to come. But here's more or less my reaction, what it actually was. Oh, Cap has a shield counter, man. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Oh, he has a new overhead. Okay. Let's see. Oh, he has another shield counter. Okay, that's really cool. X is really awesome, man. His character model is cool. And that's not a bad thing. Like, it was just a normal, like, oh, well, I got my hands on it. But I feel like it should have been more like this. Oh, shit, Cap, he looks so fucking cool. His armor, I mean, he's got no neck, but shit, I'm doing all kinds of shit with the fucking Power Stone. Now, in that example, I didn't really make any reference to his moves, but the personality of the game was a lot different. I was a lot more excited in that example, and I'm not the greatest at making examples, especially when I'm portraying them. I'm definitely not great. But my point is, even if the game didn't function well, I should have fun with the personality. Because of the game, the reason I picked the game, it says Marvel vs. Capcom. I want the characters from Marvel to be outstanding. Like, I hate to use it as a reference, but that damn iOS Marvel Superheroes game, as terrible as it is, it's got like the biggest Marvel roster, and I use the same point for Capcom 2. They should just go freaking ballistic with this. Like, this should be their opportunity to go like all balls out, man, with it. Like, just every freaking arsenal that they have, every part of it. We're talking your D-listers, your A-listers. We're talking about freaking Molecule Man. We're talking about freaking The Watch. Just every like, and from books alike, just everything you can think of. And even if those characters were not good, you have a game with so much character. Let me just, maybe I've been talking for a while without making any references, and I don't. And this video is actually going to be a bit longer than I want it to be, but I need to make this known. So, right here. Now, I'm going to kind of glaze over this real quick, but here's what I see. For better or worse, it seems Marvel is much more involved in the making of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite than the past entries of the fighting series. Previously, Capcom has kind of done their own thing. Okay, yes, we know this. Using characters that thought best suited for the game, but this time Marvel Studios seems to be calling the shots with the characters' importance in the cinematic universe. Fox has his movie rights to X-Men. It's pretty clear Marvel's bitter about the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite could have X-Men characters. It isn't strictly based on the Marvel MCU, but it seems like it won't. I've seen a couple of leaked characters list of Infinite, neither of which feature X-Men. And in a recent interview with GameStop, Capcom producers Peter Rosa and Mike Evans didn't deny the mutant shunning. In fact, they tried to justify the lack of X-Men in a rather puzzling way. Now, I'm reading this verbatim for a reason, because and you can actually look this up yourself too. I'd be interested. And if you follow Maximilian, I'm sure he's done this, and I don't want to steal any of his shine from this. Let me make that clear. I just want to do this for myself and explain this in my own way. So let me continue. We talked with Marvel very closely about their future roadmap, what's going to happen. Your modern Marvel fan, maybe they don't even remember some of the X-Men characters. Okay? But they know some of the Guardian of the Galaxy characters, or Black Panther, or you know what I mean? Marvel vs. Capcom may seem like they're going to be really be pushing her, they're talking about pushing Miss Marvel, and that's fine. She's being a strong female character. That's all well and good. I'm pretty sure Marvel fans still remember the X-Men, or excuse Marvel fans who still remember X-Men. Wait, I'm pretty sure Marvel fans still remember who the X-Men are. Yeah, was that a? I don't know if they were trying to be a question. Anyway, does Capcom think that people who watch the Avengers or Captain America movies are completely separate from the people who watch Deadpool and Logan? I can assure you they're not. Okay, so he's trying to make a point. So if you actually think about it, the characters just functions that doing things. Magneto, case in point, is a favorite because he has an 8-way dash. He's really fast, right? So our more technical players, all they want to do is triangle jump and that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Nova can do the same thing. Captain Marvel can do the same thing. Ultron can do the same thing. Go ahead and try it out. Okay, I'm going to end it right there because that's pretty much what I wanted to do. Okay, yeah, I've read that so many times, and even reading it now, I'm still scratching my head over the whole thing of like, okay, they're trying to justify not having X-Men, and I'm definitely not like mad. Maybe they meant to say it in a different way. But from my look, they're trying to see these. They're looking at these characters like they're cogs, like they're replaceable pegs, and like using Magneto as an example, like I don't understand that. Magneto is the go-to villain for X-Men. He like the Saturday morning cartoons, man. I love those, man. Those are my childhood. Those are a big part of it. And watching that and reading the books from the 90s era, the Jim Lee era, or even the movies, the live action movies, because I was born in 94, and a lot of this stuff I had to come back to. I wasn't like up to date with it, but I want to find out like, oh shit, the X-Men. Like I'm a little kid like in this example, and I'm figuring out who X-Men are for the first time, and I figure out Magneto is like this guy who is essentially like he wants to help mutant kind. I was like, oh, that's relatable. Then he wants to do it kind of violent way, and he's done all this other cool shit, like, and then he's ripped Wolverine's anti-anim out of his body. Like he's done all this stuff. Like they're a part of this story, even if the game is not relevant to the story. This character has history. All these characters have history. Wolverine, any character you can think of has history. For instance, okay, X-Men, Children of the Atom, the first in the soon-to-be series of basically Capcom fighters in the comic series, or, well, basically, let's say Capcom versus Marvel series. This is kind of the first one, even though it's not necessarily counted as the game. The first one is kind of Marvel superheroes. But my point, X-Men Children of the Atom, and I went back to play this and had a really fun time like a while back. This was an amazing game, like for the fact of it was groundbreaking with the fact that it had characters that basically people have been seen from the cartoon. These characters, and at the time, like I said, Jim Lee was he was the go-to comic book artist, man, at this time, especially with this, Wildcats, anything, man. And this game was actually based off the Fatal Attractions storyline. I haven't actually read that, but my point is this: even this game, even though it had parts of like old like Street Fighter 2 and Darksiders, it had characters and villains from the show that everyone knew, and everyone was hype as hell about this game. Everyone loved it. Even like look at just the art, man. The freaking title card. Like, here, if I can zoom in. God, like, look at that. That looks like a freaking Jim Lee book, man. You picked that up off the shelf. Which makes this point even more, like, which hits this point even more home. When you go to X-Men versus Street Fighter, the kind of the second in the series, they added on functions like the other game had, like the tag assist and other features, and soon to be you could roll, all this, and it was like the go-to 2D fighter in arcades, man. Everyone loved it, and it added a few things as well as it kept the characters from like a lot of the past games. Like there's still all the X-Men characters. They added Akuma, all the Street Fighter characters, man. Like, but my point I'm trying to make and I'll look at this art too. This game had personality. Like, look at the freaking art. Like, I want a poster of that. Like, I actually went to look for a poster of that when I first saw this game a long time ago, but I could never find one. I'm sure you have to look far and wide for it, but the game in Marvel Superheroes, no different. Hype ass poster or title card, all the details, personality you can see, and it sticks close to its roots. Now, granted, these next few games, like Children of the Atom, was kind of the only one to stick to a comic-based story. X-Men vs. Street Fighter was its own thing, but even then, it was still thinking about the game. Now, even though it added new features, it still was focusing on how can we make this more fun for the people who love Children of the Atom. All right, we'll add more. We'll add Street Fighter characters, of course, but we'll also add more X-Men. We'll add a couple more, and they actually did. Marvel Superheroes, this was the next step up. They added even more Marvel characters. They took out some of the X-Men, but they kept the more important ones, like Cyclops, Wolverine, Juggernaut. They added Spider-Man, and they had all the Capcom characters still. They had Sakura, Balrog, they had Akuma. All these characters, man, they never downgraded for anything. They only went up. But the point of development was, and why these games were so well received, and even the Saturn, like, some of these versions had a console version that wasn't as good, but they had the personality to carry them. These games were fun regardless of if you got it on, like, the worst port, even though, who cares if the game wasn't good on the PlayStation 1? Who cares if it was better on the Sega Saturn? If that's all you had at the time, you still enjoyed the shit out of it. If you had a port of a game, like, that kills me sometimes. I know people are sticklers about that, of like, oh, I had, like, when I first played Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I played it on the PlayStation 1. I know that's, like, gone to is like, oh, man, you played it on the PlayStation 1? Like, yeah, man, it was fun. On the reamped editions, man, I didn't really play it again until it came out on the PS3. And that version when I had online. But, like, all these things, man, it didn't matter. Because the game had so much, like, had so much more to carry it besides the gameplay. So what if it didn't look good? It had, like, the personality. I wanted to play Hulk. I wanted to play Cap. I wanted to play Strider, Geef, Morgan, Capcom. I didn't even know some of the Capcom characters. This is what introduced me to a lot of the Capcom characters that I know today. Like, I didn't know who Strider was until I played Capcom or Marvel vs. Capcom. I didn't know who Captain Commando was. I didn't know who Gene was. I didn't know who Mega Man was, really. I had heard of him. I didn't really know what he could do. And even some Marvel characters. Like, I didn't even know a lot about these guys. And this made me want to go into them and research them. And I found that a lot of these characters in their games besides them, I love those games too. This made me love other games. This put me on to Darkstalkers. That's another thing. I didn't know what Darkstalkers was until I found out what Marvel vs. Capcom was. And I knew that was already a thing. Every one of these games, man. And I guess this turned into a rant more than anything. I guess this wasn't my intentions. But I hate it when game creators, they put function. I mean, and function is not a bad thing, granted. If a game flows and it works, it's great. Like, that is when a game is silky smooth, when it has modes and online. Like, look, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, its roster was giant, man. It's so giant, and it had everything before. It had the tag assist, it had the snapback, it had Hyper 3, it had every single thing these past genres leading up to this point. But the thing that never went backwards was the roster. They never changed this depending on what they added new. Anything they added new was for more characters. It's like, okay, we're going to add these extra functions, but we're also going to put more characters that you like, and we might take out a couple, but we're going to add maybe more to replace them. Is that the function in the game are separate. The game is the game. you like the game because it's fun. You play the game because you like a character. The function is another story. You play the game because your characters can do this. They can tag assist. They can switch out. They can do delay hyper combos. You can do all these things, but the two never mix. When you put function in the game together, you get things like this of like, and here's my thing. I'm not saying Marvel vs. Capcom is bad. I am not saying that in the slightest. I don't want people to get that perception. I want the game to be good, and I'm still gonna pick it up. But when you feel like your characters are just cogs in a system, that they don't have a personality, like Chun-Li and Miss Marvel, and these in the story mode was like okay, but then again, it was just that. It was just, this is what the game does. It didn't have any personality. When the characters interacted, it was like Rocket and Dante, for instance, when they were like, it was like they were so like, not corny in a good way, but corny of like, oh man, Dante, can I borrow your guns? And it's like, for you, Rocket, anything. And it's like, I mean, when you think about them in their separate games or separate movies, whatever, these characters were like, they were so flamboyant or whatever their personality that suited them. They weren't like they weren't even like Saturday morning cartoon corny of like they're somewhat funny because, and that makes up for it. They were just like that, but it was bland, like bland ass cornflake bland, like not even fun. And it should never be that way. When you go back to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, even though that game, like I said, it's suffers the same problems like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had with the balancing later on in life, the game had a lot of hype behind it. Like this trailer, like this is back in, I think it was 2010. And this game, or excuse me, 2010, 2011, and the game was being shown off for the first time. This was the trailer that we saw. This by itself was hype. We had never seen Chris before. We had never seen some of these Capcom characters, and they added, even though the character roster was smaller, they added so much uniqueness to it. And it wasn't like, at first people loved it, man. They were all about it. Like I said, Dante was new. This one in particular is what sold me. I loved this fight scene with Dante and Deadpool because it fits each one of them so perfect. Dante and Deadpool are so similar in a way. They're both so goddamn cheesy and fucking funny that they would do stupid shit like that. Like they would share a pizza together. Excuse me. And they would do all this hype ass shit. And the game suited that too. All of it was personality, man. But when you go to this and another scene, you see, like shit like that. Like that was funny. This scene in particular from Capcom 3. This wasn't even the game. Cap protecting Chun-Li from Super Skrull after they land off the copter. This shit was hype. Look at that. Like, just look at that. Look at Cap. Look how fucking awesome he is. Like, look at I love Cap so much. Like, I already like Cap, but that just drove the point home of like, don't fuck with Cap America, man. Like, look at that shit. That's so goddamn hype. It's crazy. All this shit happening, man. This is just the ultimate trailer. But it added on to that fact of this has, excuse me, I don't want to get off track. The point I'm making is everything had personality. Nothing was sacrificed to put a character in. They put a character in because they felt like that would be an interesting meetup. That would be an interesting cross-up. Trombone fighting Super Skrull. Beautiful Joe riding Amaterasu. That shit was crazy. Like, they put characters in the game to do shit like that. They didn't put them in because they had an 8-way dash. They didn't put them in because they could do a certain move, even if the characters were bad. Like, Amaterasu and Beautiful Joe aren't necessarily bad characters, like, functionality-wise in the game. But it wouldn't matter. They put them in because these characters have life to them now. They put them in because, you know, everyone else knows that we love them. That's what my problem is with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and why the hell I've been talking so goddamn long. Guys, this turned into a rant, and I didn't necessarily want it to. Well, I guess I couldn't really fight the fact that I'm really passionate about this game, man. When you think about it, really think hard. Like, really think. When you first were introduced, think about how you first saw Marvel vs. Capcom, or any fighting game. Think of how you first ran into Street Fighter. Think of how you first ran into Tekken. Any examples? In fact, Street Fighter V is a good example on, like, function over, like, the characters. Like, when you think of Street Fighter V, do you think of Ryu and Ken fighting, like, to make each other better? Or do you think of Ryu having a 5-frame meaty that is really good, or an invincible wake-up? You don't think, when you think of these games, you don't think of, like, the moves that make them. You think of the stories behind them. You like a character, and you should pick a character because you are passionate about them. You love that character, man. You love that character. You rock the shirt. You have the books. You have merchant. Everything that you love about that character, and you show that. And you have a game with them that represents them, and you get to control them. That is enough. Even if they're not good, like, it doesn't matter to a lot of people. Even if a character is low tier, they'll find a way to make them good. If you have the heart and the will, you can mold anything into something good. But what I'm trying to make here is fun and personality should always be a bit more. Now, granted, you should try to balance them if you can, but if you can't balance them and you have to sacrifice one or the other, you should always pick the fun element. A game should always be fun and appealing as opposed to working well. Like, that alone. And this is what drives me nuts with that interview, and I read it so many times. It's like, no X-Men characters because they can do a wave dash that Miss Marvel or Nova can do. I like Nova, I like Miss Marvel, but I still like Magneto because he can do gravity squeeze. And he's fucking the shit that he did in the Saturday morning cartoons against Charles, against the School of Mutants. All that shit that he did, he's got history besides being in a game. He's done all of this other stuff, and so have all these other characters. All the X-Men that you can think of have had history besides these games. And that's why I'm so passionate, why I'm making this right now, and was like fighting with myself, should I even bother doing this? Because it's like, me talking about these characters is gonna come off like, oh, I'm just really butthurt that they're not in the game. No, I don't want a game to be made, and I mean, even if I'm gonna still get Marvel vs. Capcom, any game that I like, I want to get it because I'm going to enjoy it. If I post it up on YouTube as a channel, or excuse me, as a entertainment for you guys and you watch it, or if I play it in my free time, if you play it in your free time, you should enjoy every single moment with that game. You should enjoy the hype moments because of what the game has to offer as an appeal to you. What it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, what the characters are. How it functions should come way last, because there are games that are terrible but have so much personality that counters it, and it makes up for it. And I don't want Infinite to go that road. It comes out in September, but after the demo and all these interviews I'm watching with Peter Combo Fiend, and these interviews, and that one in particular, made me worried of like, they're putting function, and they're thinking of like competitive nature. They're thinking of this game, this will be great at EVO, but they're not thinking of like someone who will just play this in their living room with their group of friends who are like, oh man, I love Cap, oh I love Strider, oh I love Mega Man, let's put them all together. I want a team with my favorite freaking guys ever. I just want to play them. I have no idea what fighting games are. I've never played. It's my first time picking them up, but I saw Miss Marvel, I saw Punisher, I saw whatever character you like, and I can use them, man. And that alone is just, that attracts people, man. You'll attract more flies with, well, let me use bees. you'll attract more bees with honey instead of poo poo caca. And they're not, well, they're kind of driving people away a little bit. Well, mostly because DBZ fighters came out, but in the end, it comes down to when you think of your characters as just replaceable parts. And you can't do that. And I mean, there's nothing else to say besides that. So I've gone on for a long time, longer than I wanted to. But I just wanted to get this off my chest, really. And I'm like frothing at the mouth a little bit. I'm not angry. This is not an angry rant, but this is a rant of like, this is like how a father would talk to his son, like, son, I'm not mad, I'm not disappointed, but I see the path that you're on, and I wanna teach you something. I don't want you to go down this path. I want you to teach others and give them your proper knowledge. It's like I don't want Infinite to be bad. I don't want it to be bad. I'm looking forward to DBZ Fighters. I'm looking forward to every other fighting game that exists. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is still gonna be fun, but I just don't want them to focus solely on, and later, and like I said, the talk of DLC, that's all good, but now is the time, not later when the game first comes out September 19th. The game needs to be something that people enjoy, competitive or otherwise, and they still have time to do that. They could add a feature that they've never done before. They could add, I haven't seen it since MK9. MK freaking 9. MKX didn't even do it. 2-player, and Tekken has done it. Tekken cross Street Fighter, or Street Fighter cross Tekken. 2-player co-op or online. You got another friend. You can play on the same team. I got Captain America. You got Strider, you got whoever. We're going online together and play another group of people. So essentially 4 people online. KOF has done it. They've done 3 people, man. So that's 6. KOF. I don't even play that game well. I'm ass at that game. But they have a feature like that. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Innovative measures, not just how to compete, how to be better at a fighting game. I don't want to be at EVO because I know Nova has a 5-frame whatever or can do an air dash. I want to go to EVO with Captain America, Strider hear you, because god damn it, like fucking Captain America is the shit and Strider is a cyber ninja, man. What more do you want? There should be just that. My team is hype. Who cares if they're not good? That's the point. Okay. Anyway, I guess this was me just going off a little bit too much. Thank you guys for being here. Like I said, what features would you guys think? I thought of the tattoo, cause that feature has never been thought of. It's been thought of, but I don't see it, surprisingly. That was fun, and I played MK9 exclusively because it had 2-player online features and Street Fighter cross Tekken, because that shit is cool, and they could do that. They have plenty of time to do that. Adding new features, adding more characters by the time, or not worrying about DLC down the road, man. Let me know what you guys want to add, man. Let me know what your thoughts are. I don't want people to hate Marvel. This is not me telling you shouldn't buy it. But just really think of, I'm really frothing. I'm going rabbit here. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Let me know what's your favorite character? What do you feel is missing? Just, you don't have to pour your heart out, but you can express your thoughts. And I want people to think. When I make these videos, I guess this is a real talk, I want people to think. I love making people think. Really think deeply. There's always more than surface value, and that's what we're taking here. They want us to take surface value, and that's not good enough for me. So, like I said, guys, thank you for being here. Express your thoughts in the comments. Try to keep it peaceful, civil. I don't want people saying, let's burn Capcom and let's go with pitchforks and torches to Peter Combo Fiend, his house, and say, hey, you're fucking up Capcom or Marvel. No, don't do that. just think about really like why you like a game, and really think hard about it. That's all. I don't want, just be peaceful. So yeah, this video was really long. I hope you like anything else I put on the channel. I'll be back with more. I'm gonna be playing Crash Bandicoot probably in the next few days, because that collection's coming out. So guys, take care. I'll see you next time on whatever I do, my next rants or anything that I feel like is gonna be entertaining, guys. So thank you for being here. See you next time.
All skill, no heart, and no victory.